Roger, this is the Roger that we love to see. I mean, you are just excelling, doing so well at the Australian Open. And, I mean, there's just, I have to start pulling out a thesaurus now to start using different words other than awesome and happy and glad and all of these things, because you are producing this kind of tennis and this wonderful performance that you should be. And, it's happening so much now that I feel repetitive um, in just all my joy. So congratulations, great job with Murray today. I got, my phone went off at 6, and then I'm like, oh my God, the match. It's so funny. I always do that every year at the Australian Open. It's kind of like either I wake up at like 5:30 or whatever. But for the finals, like especially if you're in the finals, like I will make sure that I make that final. As long as I'm not like working the next day or whatever, but I will make sure that I get up for 3:30 to watch the finals. In any case, I noticed you guys were still playing while it was 6 a.m. here, which was really cool. So I got to turn that on. I saw the entire fourth set, which was good. Um, so I know I was so freaking pleased to like see that you had taken 2 sets, which was excellent. And then it almost taken, I saw 7-6 in the third. I was like, oh, go boy, And then I was like on Twitter a little bit. People were like, you were like killing it, murdering it. You were like, aggressive out there from the start. I love it. So, I think you got to the fourth set or whatever, and there were periods of time where it felt like you lost your intensity just a little bit, but I think it's something, that happens, and is pretty natural, but something that you should still try to fight through, especially in the tougher moments, you know. I guess coming off that third set, what you said was, it must have been a little, I don't want to say demoralizing, but really lowers the spirits, after all that work, and then it's just so close in a tie break, and then boom, the momentum shifts and you have to start all over again. So I thought your post-match interview was really cute. It was so funny and so realistic, talking about converting break points. You were like really funny about it. Like it's like, I'm not exactly one of the guys who is really, heavily converting breakpoints or something to that extent. I thought that was very funny. I think everybody got a kick out of that, and we just totally adored that kind of, I don't know, it was just sort of poking fun at yourself. It was really cute, and just made you feel even more human, because every single person has their thing that they could use to improve on, I guess, or whatever it is, it makes up our personality or whatever, like who we are. Anyway, so it was really cute, with some of the things you were saying, and so I think the good thing is it's not that you haven't been there before, because just like you said, you had been there in those types of situations where you had, sort of reset and start all over, having almost 3 sets won, and then now you have to go to a fourth, having been there. But I just feel like today, the match today, it was kind of like a good learning curve in a way or whatever, like just just putting a period on the absolute importance of just continuing to stay intense in those final moments when other people turn it up, like Murray was apparently turning it up because he got angry over some disputed play that he didn't, that went your way and not his. So just the importance of, especially now you're going into a match with Nadal, who is typically pretty intense. Not unbeatable, but intense. And it's fine. But that at that point, it's time to sort of like reset and just, you know, and that's probably stupid easy for me to say since I'm not the one who's out there, so, but if there's any way that you could figure that out in those moments, like, when you are so close to really closing it out, it's just that important time, or so close to even converting that break point. It's just that extra bit, you know what I mean? That's going to be the difference now between you and for you and a Rafa who have played each other so much. That's going to be the extra difference between a win and a loss for you. You know, now, like I said in my last video, sorry, I'm just getting all kind of comfortable. You know, I said in my last video that you would have to, between Tsonga and Murray, you would have to turn it up, certain things up a certain percentage higher for Murray, because some of the shots that Tsonga would miss, or plays that Tsonga wouldn't be able to make, Murray would be able to make, and Murray would be able to return certain shots as well. And now this is something different with Rafa. I think the skill level is higher, of course, but there's also this thing in Rafa, you know, that he has. It's just important for you to be able to discern between the fact that you are playing well and what Rafa does. Rafa will be able to chase down 100 balls, you know, a lot of your shots, even get them back. And he does this to Djokovic too. Because of the way that he plays, he has the ability to start eroding, mentally eroding the other player because of his effect. And he might not even be winning, but it's just the fact that he chases down a lot of balls, and he's able to anticipate a lot of moves. Like, I think what he's done himself is probably the same thing that you kind of done too, but it feels like Rafa uses this a little bit more, not only with you, but just with everyone, because he has this effect where he sort of mentally erodes people, mentally, you know, makes them sort of just on their own implode, like, you know, just on his natural intensity. So for you to go into this match with Rafa, you're going to have to be able to discern between the fact that, you know what, hey, I'm playing good, and hey, I'm winning, which is a little bit of something what you did, you know, based on what you said. This is a little bit of something what you did with Murray today. You'll have to understand the difference between that and just the difference between the effect of, I mean, just the way that Rafa plays, you know what I mean? And I want to actually post a link to a breakdown that a World Tour Finals, I guess it was 2013, some interviewer had actually done an interview with you and with Rafa, probably a number of players, but I just happened to see yours and Rafa's today, where they did a screenshot or a play-by-play breakdown with you standing there analyzing your own plays. So in watching Rafa's, it just so happened that Rafa's analysis was against a match with you, and it was interesting because he was able to anticipate your plays. You know, like you know what? I'm gonna just post it without trying to explain it, so you can just see it. And I think it's important to see. It's really not that long. Maybe it's like 5 minutes long, if that. But it's interesting to see that. How, you know, just based on your positioning in the court, how he's sort of expecting you to go a certain way or hit a ball a certain way, and how it seemed to me at least over 50% of the time, well over 50% of the time, probably a good 70%, let's just say 70 or more, he's anticipating your shot. So he's kind of like going already heading toward the direction that you're going to hit and stuff like that. So it's kind of like, in a way, you know, since you guys have been playing, what, a good 30 times against each other, it's kind of like, you know, and excuse me for saying this, but it's kind of like that lover that you've been with for a really long time. You kind of know, like, what buttons to push, where, you know what I mean? Like, you just know, kind of, I'm going like this, like, what the hell is that? But I'm just saying, like, you know what works, and you know what doesn't work, and you know the timing, and you know when the body is this way to do this, and the body is that way to do that, or whatever. Probably sounds really strange, but I think it's the same kind of thing. That's what it reminded me of when Rafa was kind of like, oh yeah, well, I kind of knew that, you know, the only option he had was either to come forward for a drop shot or he was going to run over here and do this or whatever. I just feel like, you guys know each other so well and your habits, that some of it is almost instinct. Instinct, probably a better word for that. But anyway, so I think going into this match too, that's going to be really important for you to just number one, just really stick to the integrity of your play and just stick with that. Don't worry about who's on the other side of the net. Number two, understand that Rafa is the effect of the way that he plays. It tends to erode people. It tends to make people sort of go like that. And I've seen this not only with you in the past, but with Djokovic, even more so with you to a certain extent. I don't know why, but with you, it's like Rafa's in your head for a number of years. But with Djokovic will like come apart like hot clay on, you know what I mean? It's just like melt a bit against Rafa. It is particularly at Roland Garros. That I've seen that erosion, and it's only because it's like, oh, well, I'm trying, this guy's getting everything back and this and that, and it's your own mental thing, and you could see the mental implosion. So anyway, I think his video is weak, but I was reading another article by Steve Tignor, who I had said is one of the strongest writers in tennis, who's one of the strongest people I enjoy in tennis writing. And he was saying as well, he thinks you could totally beat Rafa, and I know you can. You're ready. You're ready. As long as you keep your mind out of the equation, you'll be fine. I don't think you should expect too much epic battles, because usually a lot of times with Rafa, you usually take the first set. I think what ends up happening is you get into this old codependent, you and he have a bit of a relationship, you know what I mean? And what'll happen is that Rafa will start playing aggressively and you will become passive. And he'll just bully points out of you. I've seen it a number of times. So, if you can be careful not to check out and become, just sort of allow him to have his way, which is what he does at certain points in matches against you, and you can kind of see it, if you can just remember to be comfortable with aggression, because I always have said that's like an issue with you, and it's just a natural personality thing, it's not that you're afraid or anything like that, but just I don't think that aggression is agreeable to you at your core, and I think that spills out onto the court as well. Like you will, not participate in anything that feels really aggressive, truly aggressive. Like I want this point, like you know what I mean? It's like when players get like that, you kind of pull back, you know what I mean? And it's not saying that you're a pushover. It's not saying that. It's just saying that at your core, I believe in your true personality. You just don't believe in aggression, or you feel it's uncivilized or something. And it is, but it's different. This is tennis. Nobody's dying. Nobody's getting killed. Nobody's getting, everyone's gonna survive. So it's okay to really fight for the point. So you gotta be okay with that if you want to make sure that you get past Rafa. Breakpoint conversion as well. I've noticed a few other people on ATP forums today said that you gotta be on top of your intensity and really commit in those high stakes moments. Like you cannot afford to let one moment pass by where you are really not applying yourself and really refocusing yourself with Rafa, So especially breakpoint conversions, like you need to put kick in, go turbo boost, It's just one match. Just throw it all in. You know what I mean? Kick it up even higher. You know what I mean? Even higher. Like in those points in time where you could lose intensity. If you are a deuce, or if you're at 40, you manage to get 40 on his serve or whatever, like just make, it's like, okay, it's just kind of like, let me just really commit 200% to really focusing in this moment to securing this. So I think that's an important question. How do you really want to make sure that you're securing break points, which you are totally capable of doing? You're absolutely capable of doing it, without losing that intensity. Two, I think, how are you going to approach being okay with aggression? Because I'm telling you right now, if you get into the same thing, you'll fall into the same pattern that you and Rafa have, or he'll get aggressive and bully points out of you, and you'll just allow it because, you know, it's a belief. It's a belief in you. So now you're gonna have to figure out some way in yourself to just undo that belief or soothe that belief so that you can perform and react the way you need to be able to communicate or participate, and come out on the right side of an aggressive exchange, and now I've lost my train of thought. Ugh. What an ugly face I just made. Okay, so yeah, so I think that's it. Staying true to your play, and really trusting your play rather than worrying about Rafa. Because really Rafa, and I mean this in the best sense, he's nobody. You are the better player. He knows you're the better player. He's always said you are a better player. He admires you. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you knew this. Somebody probably told you, but the other day they asked Rafa, who's his favorite player and who does he enjoy watching, and he said, like, without hesitation, it's just Roger. Roger's a pleasure to watch. He's always been a fan of yours. He always models himself after you. It's like when you were speaking French at the French Open or Roland Garros, and the next year he was like trying to speak some French, and he's just modeled. Maybe that's like a little bit of a weak example, but he's just modeled himself after you, like his career decisions, I think, in certain ways, and some of his comments have always kind of been modeled after yours and different things like that. Anyway, I don't want to go into all that, but I'm just saying at the end of the day, he and both Uncle Tony have always said that you're a way better player than Nadal is, and it's true. In certain extents, Rafa is a little bit one-dimensional to a certain extent. But no one can ever take away a fighting spirit and how hard he works. Nobody grinds harder. But I think a thing about Rafa too that you could take away is that Rafa knows his limitations and his weaknesses. He knows you're a better player than him, so what he's going to try to do is go for the backhand. But I think nowadays, it's not an answer of just like, oh, let me attack Roger's backhand alone, and that's what's going to get me through. He knows you're going to make errors off that backhand and stuff, so he will probably try to attack that. But what can you figure out that's a weakness for him too, something that will destabilize him as well? He, like I said, he knows his limitations. He's not going to try to sort of just, to a certain extent, just go out there and play you straight up. He's going to attack your weakness, so to speak, which I think you're getting much stronger. You've gotten much stronger in your backhand. But he'll still try those old things because he feels like eventually you'll make an error off of your backhand. So whatever, just make sure you don't make an error off your backhand. That's all. Prove him wrong. To the best of your ability. And, I remember hearing as well as Roland Garros about 2 years ago, someone said, oh, Rafa has trouble with the slice serve. So I think we should remember that. I don't know if he's improved since then, but someone was saying, I don't know why Roger doesn't really employ that against Rafa as much, He should, because Rafa has trouble responding to slice serve. So whatever the heck slice serve is, maybe we want to do that in crucial moments or whatever, breakpoint conversion, all that good stuff. So again, I kind of feel like I'm rambling on, but I feel like, you are totally, everyone who really can see, who has really decent sense of analyses, um, analytical ability rather, knows that you're the better player, and that you can get through Rafa. I think it's the hangups from the past or whatever, but and then intense play that also can really, if you don't manage your thoughts properly, that you could sort of succumb to that. And I think that's what happens with a lot of players with Rafa. But I mean, for you, you're just as good and better, let me say, skill wise. So it's not like he could just be outdo you skill wise. It's just the intensity, the natural intensity of the play and stuff like that. So if you keep you just separate what's going on the other side of the court, and just stay to the integrity of your game and your game plan, you will come out on top. If you take that extra moment, just maybe even just taking a couple of breaths, just to like recharge up the brain, or let out some stress or whatever, um, or whatever it is, to just be able to recenter, to lock in, right at the time when it's time for you to convert break points. Also certain times when when the player's serving and you have so many break points and stuff, like take that extra second again to like really pay attention, to really focus on that serve, to see where it's coming, and be able to anticipate it as best as possible, and secure the break point. So yeah, I think I'm just so flat. Anyway, I feel really good. I feel really, really great about you getting through Rafa, you coming out on the win, coming out with the win. I feel great about your ability, and again, just um, paying attention. I'm gonna put that link up there so you can get an idea of just understanding. The link I'm talking about is the Rafa and analyzing play against you. So you could kind of just sort of understand, like, oh, okay, yeah, I see what's going on here. Since he's anticipating sort of everything, it creates this atmosphere for the other player to be like, oh my God, like this guy's like just getting everything back, and I even win, like, you could see that that's his effect. And like I said, especially in Djokovic at Roland Garros 2 years in a row, I saw that happen, like those wheels turning in Djokovic's head, and then just everything falling apart for him mentally. So yeah, I guess that's it. Good luck, and I don't know if I'll come up with anything better. I'll make a better video, I suppose. Again, before your match with Rafa, but I know you can totally do this, and I think that when you're at net and there's certain shots again that you can put a little more speed on at the net, it might be worth it to just do that against Rafa, rather than hitting the ball like medium speed, even when you're at net, and then Rafa chasing that down, and then creating 2 or 3 more plays before you secure the point or whatever. I think you should just be in assassin mode. But it's also interesting too, really quickly, because I don't know who this woman was. Was watching the post-match commentary on Eurosport, and this older woman was talking about how when a tennis player comes out and they're just aggressive and attacking, that after a while, she said, you tend to get a little tight or whatever. It was interesting. I kind of can't remember all of what she said, but it was an interesting take. However, I still agree. I still feel that, the person who's going to be freaking passive, I mean, especially against these top players, you're gonna be in a damn race that you're gonna be trying to win from behind, behind. You know what I mean? You can't really win a race running behind. You gotta lead the pack, you know what I mean? Get out there and, you know, well, actually, yeah, in tennis, so much the type of race that tennis is, you got to get out there right away. That's my opinion. I mean, otherwise, forget it. I mean, again, like I said a couple of years ago, it's like you're out to sea and trying to swim back to shore in a freaking riptide. Forget about it. So for me, it's like best to be out the box, get your break early, get that first set, regroup, get that second set, you know what I mean? And just keep plugging away all the way through that third set and never let up. And never let up with anybody like Rafa. So, I'm just kind of rambling on. It's going to be 45 minutes. So I'm going to go, and good luck with everything. I know you totally can do this. It's, you're a better player always, when you're on top of, Rafa, when you have all gears intact, like Federer's intact, there's nothing that Rafa can do. There's nothing that really anyone can do to neutralize you and beat you. So, just make like you did in Indian Wells the year before last, and make like you did at the World Tour Finals in like 2010, 11, and all that good stuff, and just, go from there. But don't worry about anything. Just stick to the integrity of your game, and what your coaches told you, and all the wonderful good things that have been working out for you, and just keep sticking to the integrity. Don't worry about this is Rafa. You know what I mean? Just keep playing the ball. Don't even think Rafa. Just play the ball and just hold tight to the integrity of your game, and be open to changing and seeing new solutions as you need to. And as Steve Tignor said, don't play not to lose, because usually people who play not to lose or end up losing. So, and it's true, I've seen that actually. You can see sometimes the people do that and then they end up missing the shot and messing it up for themselves. But anyway, getting back to Murray today, in your post commentary, I thought it was great, where you were saying to stay positive and stuff. It was really funny. I enjoyed that. Your whole comment about missing, not being able to secure the break points, and then just saying, staying positive, and then try to stay positive and give myself another chance. You know what? That's what it's all about at the end of the day. As long as you keep trying, I think you're in a better position, to start getting yourself to the point where you're like, okay, now I do, I've been here with the breakpoint thing or whatever, and now I just want to secure a breakpoint and secure the break rather, and and you'll do it. You'll do it. You have done it before, but you'll do it a lot more now, I think. And it was just really fun for me to see you just take yourself lightly like that. It was really cool. So yeah, I think really you're in great shape again. You are confident, which you should be. Seems like life is going just absolutely great for you. It really comes across in your interviews, and I think it just really makes people feel good, your fans. I really look forward to seeing you knocking Rafa out, and I look forward to seeing you at championship point. I know, should never talk so early about it, but it ain't that early. Good stuff, my friend. Very good stuff. I am super duper duper proud of you, and just can't be happier to see you excelling and being so happy about everything. And I don't know why I'm so freaking happy about you being happy, you know what I mean? But it's what I feel. Okay, good luck, and maybe I'll talk to you soon. Laters.